There we go. Hi, everyone. Let's see, what if we just did this?
Sure.
Sure. Okay, there. Hi, I am your host, as always, the Archivist, and with me is... He's Ken. You didn't see him during the MLP review. He was the guy off to the side, sitting pretty much where he is now.
Mm-hmm.
And we are, well, we did not just get out of Mad Max Fury Road. This is another theater entirely, which I'm going to see myself on by myself. It's to see Jurassic World. Dun dun dun. Let's see them repeat the same mistakes they did in the past 3 films. Apparently,
can it be as bad as the past one?
I'll find out.
I mean, it's obviously going to be super like ridiculous, but that might be the only option they have left.
Who knows? Who knows? Well, at least the Raptors this time will be on the good guys' side. So.
Is that a prerequisite for good quality film, in your view?
Well, it changes things up.
I agree.
And they're basically the smartest beings in the film, so yeah. Well, other than that hacker and nerd girl from the first film. She's probably the only one smarter than them. But of course, I don't know. Give the Raptors 15 minutes and a keyboard, I'm pretty sure they'd figure it out too. Yeah. Considering the fact that it was, late 90s technology? Mm-hmm. So it's incredibly user-friendly. Yeah, so Mad Max Fury Road. This is going to be incredibly short, because it's a really good film.
Yeah.
So let's walk through it, of what this is about, and then we'll get to what's good, the bad, and what we thought of it.
Cool.
Yeah, and whether we recommend it. Okay, so starts off with Max, played by a different actor, because Mel Gibson has... Well, he's too old, and he's too... I guess either he's too crazy, or he has too much of the reputation of being a nut bar. What do you think?
I have no idea about any of the politics behind the film.
I don't know either.
I do know he's too old to play the character at the age they wanted the character to be.
So Max is played by someone else. Oh, and they don't say his name until the end, just so you know. So does this entire thing. No one knows what the hell his name is. Spoilers. No one knows what his name is. Not that it really matters. It's more of, guy, please don't kill me. So, yeah, it basically what they're doing is they're James Bonding it. The basically umbrella, the whole damn thing, is that they're James Bonding it. Different actor, same universe, more or less the same timeline.
Yeah.
Because it takes place before the movies, in between the movies, or even after the movies. The three established films. Okay, maybe not before the first one, because that's when life was still normal. So basically between movie 1, 2, or 3. But not before 1. Because the bomb hasn't gone off yet, apparently, or something like that. Yeah, so Max is basically in his car, again, like in Fast and Furious. It gets destroyed and it's somehow magically resurrected again for this film. Yeah. Somehow it's magically resurrected, and he gets crashed again within the first 15 minutes.
Right, so it establishes the world with a bunch of radio shows.
Yeah, monologuing.
Is radio and TV sounds. And Max establishes to us, through interior monologue, that he is haunted by the past and doesn't really know what's going on anymore.
Yeah.
But that all he wants to do is survive.
Yes.
And then he has to try to do that for the rest of the movie.
Yes. And we meet our antagonist, what do you want to call that group? It's a...
Some of the Half-Life Boys?
Yeah, I mean, is it supposed to be a cult? Is it supposed to be a society? Is this a society? Or, I mean, what do you call that?
Yeah, it would be society.
It'd be a society. Yeah, it'd be the current society of people with severe cancer and those that are just starving and thirsty. And it's a was it autocracy? Something. Basically, he's a tyrant. It's this guy. Okay, remember the guy from the last film who looked like Jason from Friday the 13th? It looks like he could kick anybody's ass. Okay, this is not that guy. He's a poser, what this guy is. He's trying to be that guy. But when we first introduced him, he looks like he could barely stand. And when they stand him up, he can barely stand. And he does a big proclaiming in the big booming voice, like the guy before. And he says about, I'm going to give you water. And he's on some sort of dais or plateau. What do we call that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Outcropping?
Sure. There's a huge cliff. It's got pipes sticking out of it. They're way up there. Huge pipes that are where the water comes from. And he's got this little porch or a balcony, there we go, that comes out that is his position of power.
Yeah, because he has the water. He's able to get resources from Gas Town, which is like a couple of miles away. And that's our setting for the landscape.
And the bullet farm.
And the bullet farm. And so it's a working society.
Yep.
It's not perfect.
Nope.
But it's a sustainable working society system between him and the other systems around him.
Yeah, effectively everyone exists so that at some point he can produce offspring that don't have mutations.
Which is the harem, which is the focal point of the story.
And he's got his army is children who have been exposed to too much radiation, and so their lives are short. They're called the Half-Life Boys, and they're actually my favorite kind of conceit in the film.
Yes.
Because they're living, thriving, hero-worshipping youth culture.
Yeah, something. Yeah, they elevate this guy to the point of like not Jesus, but it's like he shall carry me to the or meet me at the pearly gates or something like that, and I'll be chrome.
Valhalla
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he says, and I'll be made of chrome, and I'll be shiny, and
always shiny, always chrome, because they relate to the cars.
They relate to the cars, which by the way is a real highlight or selling point for the movie. Is these people have, I guess when you're at the apocalypse, you're incredibly bored, so you get incredibly creative.
Yeah.
But these people are incredibly creative. They create tons of, like, weird car stuff. The guy with the flaming guitar thing.
Yeah.
When the chase starts, by the way, this movie's like 90% chase.
Yeah.
Just so you know. And
starts and doesn't stop.
Yeah, starts and doesn't stop. And, that's the most inefficient, or slightly inefficient, but yet also really cool and imposing thing.
Uh-huh.
And,
well, the strength of the movie is the storytelling is propulsive. Every time that something happens, it's not, oh, and then this happened. It's that, therefore this happens, right?
Yeah, therefore.
Like I say in every cheesy script writing book you can ever read. But there are these cool little devices and conceits that move it along. I mean, the reason Max is there at all
is because he was captured.
Well, he was captured. He was supposed to provide healthy blood for these Half-Life boys.
By the way, just so you know, from the trailers where they have him up front on the spoiler or whatever, I thought that was some sort of torture to see his friends or people die. No, they put him up there for convenience sake for the bloodletting.
Yeah.
Because he's transferring blood to him, and so they stick him on the front of the car during 20 minutes of chase sequence and explosions and car crashes. He's stuck there with the thing in his neck.
Or the commodity. Everything in this movie is fluids. There's gasoline, there's milk, there's water, and there's blood.
And he somehow survives this entire ordeal, giving blood for 40 minutes straight, giving blood in this film, and then giving blood at the end of the film with only
sharing blood, right? Yeah,
and only having so much water, and we've never seen anyone really eat anything. So it's like, how the heck is he still conscious, let alone alive? I don't understand that. What's a movie? I was like, okay, I'll let that go just a little bit, because that's the only real far-fetched thing in this entire film that I.
Well, he didn't lose much blood. He was they were circulating blood together.
No, he was giving. It was one way. It was one tube.
No, yeah, but it was two-way. No. Otherwise, he would have died immediately, and the other guy would have burst.
No, it was one tube.
I know, but it wasn't one way.
How could that be?
It's two tubes. They're just in the same thing.
I'd have to watch that again. But I could have sworn it was one tube. Okay.
It does look like one tube, but the point is that they're sharing blood, because that's how that would work, is you're thinning the toxic blood and adding more healthy.
Okay.
Because our Half-Life boy wasn't dumping blood. They were a single system.
Yeah, I'd have to watch that again. But that would make it a lot more plausible.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. Okay, so Max gets captured. He gets branded with some sort of sacred text on his back, which I bet would have hurt like hell.
But it was his blood type and how old he was.
Oh, so it's
and how much junk was in his system. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was a commodity.
He was a commodity.
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense. Because I didn't know what the heck that was.
He was branded like a cow.
Oh, and throughout this, he gets visions of little girls and the people he let down. So at different points, he would just, in the middle of a fight, in the middle of anything, this thing would just pop back to him, and he's like, ah. And
it's interesting what they do with that.
Yeah.
No spoilers, but it's interesting what they do with that.
And so...
I mean, you've already seen it.
Yeah, well, so he gets stuck in the commodity, gets stuck out on the front of the car during the chase sequence because the girl with the one mechanical arm thing...
right.
I don't know I forget what her name is, but she steals the concubines that this overlord is trying to have healthy offspring with, which look like a bunch of supermodels.
Because they were preserved.
They were preserved
Yeah.
somehow. Somehow they were preserved.
Well,
and-
because everyone knew that they were valuable. Pretty much immediately. I imagine that they were preserved. I mean, they were probably taken from other societies because That's another thing is there's a bunch of tiny dystopias all over the desert.
Yeah, and so they get into a sandstorm, and everyone's chasing them because this you gotta wonder, it's like, why is he putting this much effort into getting these girls back? Because family, perpetual legacy,
Yeah.
is basically the highest economy to this guy. It's a
Right.
family matter, and so yeah, he's gonna pour his entire freaking army into getting these things
yeah.
back, and so they follow
One
him
of the
into-
concubines is pregnant.
yeah, well, two of them actually.
No, you're right. Two of them are pregnant. One of them's ready to go.
And they fall into a sandstorm, and that's when everyone meets up. Max and the girls, and they try to have this show of trust-ish, and they,
Right. He kind of re-kidnaps them, but not to take them back to Immortan Joe, which is
Just-
the bad guy.
yeah, just to kind of just get away. Let's work together to just get away.
But the Half-Life boy he's plugged into just keeps tagging along one way or another, which is fantastic.
And he's all like, "Oh, he was supposed to die like 3 times, but he didn't," and he keeps feeling upset because he didn't. And
Yeah.
but he doesn't do it out of incompetence. He does it out of bad luck. And he looks bad in front of the boss, basically.
Right. But I mean, at the same time, he's still just an angry teenager serving, a rock god, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's none of the Half-Life boys are especially competent.
No.
Um,
And they're just willing to throw their lives away for this. This religion that they've based around this guy.
well, they want to go out in a blaze of glory instead of dying slowly in a bed,
Yeah. And
which a lot of youngsters want.
yeah, and they have the nitrous thing.
Well,
that-
it's chrome paint on
Really?
the teeth. Yeah,
I thought it was nitrous.
always shiny, always chrome. Well, you can't see that.
Oh,
Nitrous is invisible gas.
I know, but I thought that's what it was.
No, it was because it was like they were just making themselves like the grill of a car.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that was frost on their teeth.
Oh, yeah, I could see why it would look like that, but
I
yeah.
thought that was okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Chrome. But I could have sworn that was what gave him the high in order to. I mean, the guy got shot in the face.
Right,
I'm
right.
pretty sure that giving.
No, I see exactly why you'd think that. It looked like he gave himself strength, but he was actually doing a show of now it's time, guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was a chemical high.
Yeah,
They were giving
that's
themselves.
interesting.
Okay. All right. Never mind. Never mind then. Strike that. Yeah. So they travel. They earn each other's trust. Further along they go. They are dogged by these people constantly. Now there'd be a large group or a small group. They finally get to the green?
Okay, well, they're escaping because the woman who has,
The arm.
she has a mechanical arm, and she is
Was the guy's
she's a
hand
high
right
up, yeah, in the ranks back in this horrible place that Immortan Joe rules, and she's escaped the concubines, and she's
so many people for a Thursday.
Yeah, me too.
Same here.
taking them to basically the homeland she remembers from when she was a girl. There was the tribe that she was with. There were plants. There were like women who weren't slaves. So it was a good place.
Land of many mothers? Was it
Yeah,
called?
Land of Many Mothers,
Land
right.
of Many Mothers. And with those old actresses from old movies or something, because I kind of felt like they were veteran actresses.
Well, they were old and they were professional actresses. So I imagine that's the case.
I didn't recognize anyone in particular, but I didn't actually research anyone's back history or bio, so I don't know.
Older. They weren't all old.
Old, yeah.
And some, many of them were just like in their 30s. Not old at all, but
So they realize it's like, well, they come across when they get to the Land of Many Mothers, they realize that the marshland they just passed through was the green, but it had turned sour, and so they said, okay, so what do we do now? Well, his army is right behind us, so which means that it's pretty sparse back at where we started. Why not just go back and beat him there, and then we'll just roll that place. Good idea. Well, I don't think we have anything else better to do. Let's go. So everyone basically goes back the way they came for the other half of the movie, and which is a lot quicker now. It doesn't seem to take them as long, apparently.
well, they encounter fewer troubles along the way, right? The rig has been fixed. They're all on motorcycles. They've got more people.
So they're going back, and so now you know, like, they're up in the ante in the movie that now, okay, so now it's like, it's time for the big showdown, big, 20-minute long battle fight scene on the rig, like it was in the second film.
Yeah.
And and so Max is there, and he has more visions of that little girl, which I don't think is from any of the previous installments. So I think it's a totally original character, I believe. I'm not entirely sure.
You don't think it's supposed to be
I don't think it's that kid with the boomerang.
No, that was Boy.
No, and I don't think it's from anyone else, even from Thunderdome, because that's still the same kid.
Right. Well, they might have been trying to establish the mythology a little differently. I actually it could have been someone but it might have been that it was supposed to be his daughter, and that the world was worse off in this version than it looked like in the first actual movie.
Well, who's to say? Except for the creators. Max is fighting things off back and forth. Everyone's just traveling back and forth on the rig. Okay, so get down to the last, 15 minutes of the film or whatever. The girl with the arm gets out and gets into the big boss's car. Now, I understand why they did this. I just don't understand it in context. Exactly.
Okay.
Because she gets out there, she crawls along the car, she's wounded. She's doing her last-minute ditch effort thing. And
well, they were going to use the rig to blow the mountains,
the canyon, in order to trap everyone there.
So they still needed an escape vehicle.
Yeah, they still need an escape vehicle. So she gets out, crawls alongside the car, gets to where the big boss is with a weapon, hooks it into his mask thing, and then she says, "Remember me." And I'm like, okay.
That was a callback to something. Oh, what was that? No, that was a line that didn't in the movie earlier.
I think they're saying something about my movie.
Yeah, I think that they might be opening up the theater. We should probably get moving.
Okay, so they go and then she rips his face off, pretty much, kills him. Don't know why about the one-liner. It's not like he forgot her or her name or anything, so I have no idea why that's putting what the context is about that line. It's good to have that, but it doesn't work in context.
There was something about that though. I can't remember what it was.
So they go through the canyon. The guy, did he even have a name? He's the Half-Life boy that tags along with them. He sacrifices himself needlessly, but we don't see him get blown up or killed. We just see the bus crash.
Well, not needlessly. The whole thing wouldn't have worked if he didn't do that.
Yeah, it's just like whatever. And so I kind of liked him.
Yeah, no, but it was
It
that,
would've
or
been
lived
cool.
for a couple of years with horrible radiation cancer. I mean,
it would have been cool if he walked away from that and it's like he's still alive. It's like how, like this guy has as much luck as Max at this point.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of a bit of a laugh, funny thing. But anyway, so they get back, they show that the guy's dead, they lower the bridge thing down, they take him up so that they are now in charge, and Max wanders into the crowd and disappears, and it's like life has now changed for the better in that little community. Presumably. And that's it, that's the end of the movie. And so, what did we think of it? Sorry, I'm parodying.
Yeah, no, it was.
I'm parodying database there. Anyway, so yeah, okay. So what did I think of it? I think it's good. I think it's done right on all fronts.
Yeah.
It's a good action film. It has decent comedy at times when it feels appropriate. It's not overused. Max doesn't speak unless he needs to speak, which is good for his brooding character. It stays in character.
His broken character.
Character.
His all action, all business.
All business. We see him struggle between wanting to be selfish and then wanting to help out the team. We see that for a brief moment, which is good. Because this is the Badlands. We're not here to see a bleeding heart. We're here to see a broken, bleeding heart. Who actually questions that for 5 consecutive seconds and says, all right, fine, I'll help you. And, they James Bonded it, which was good. You can't keep the same actor, in it forever. At some point, you gotta change it up. But you gotta stay in spirit with the character and the story. As long as that's good, you're solid. That's called making a proper film.
Well, I mean, no. You could do that and still make an awful film. But that's a proper sequel.
Okay, proper sequel then. So what did you think?
Well, that was really good. It reminded me that I hadn't seen a good straight action movie in a long time. And I don't mean that there weren't straight action movies. I mean that they hadn't been good. This is like, oh, that's right. Straight action movies are supposed to be entertaining the whole time and not condescend to the audience. Because we've had some good action adventure films, but it was cool to see a straight, just violent movie that still had some complexity and kick to it, but was also simple and straightforward.
And that's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
I mean, that is it. We could analyze very specific things, but it works, and the overall impression is pretty straightforward.
What's the funniest thing you remember seeing in the film?
Well, the funniest thing I remember seeing in the film was actually seeing your response every time the guitar guy showed up.
Wait, what was my response?
He was like, "What? That's all he does?" Just every single time.
My thing was. No, I remember saying was that he's still playing. It's like because every time we cut back to him, they're still moving. He's playing.
Yeah.
It isn't until they stop. Until he stops playing. It's like
you'd say that, but you'd always get to. Doesn't he have another job? It was like
yeah, because everyone here has a job. It's like it's kind of the most useless job there. Unless you're supposed to inspire people and terrorize other people.
But that you have to maintain the Immortan Joe image. He needs his entourage of drummers and his flaming guitar player with no face.
But you're doing a chase sequence. It's like these people already fear you. You don't need the entourage to tell them that. So
most armies have bands.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's a thing we do.
Alright, so I have to take this guy out because he has to go someplace,
Yep.
which is not here because I have to come back immediately afterwards to see Jurassic World and get in theater.
Yep.
And hopefully try to talk to a very cute girl.
That's the plan?
That's the plan. Well, at least that's the plan I'm aiming for, but I really doubt that's actually going to happen.
Do you have a cute girl in mind, or are you just expecting one to be there?
I'm kind of expecting one to be there. Well, I did see a cute girl
Good
walking
luck.
past us, but I don't know if she's going to the same theater as we are. Well, theater room or whatever. So, who's to really say? Who knows? Maybe next time when I do the Jurassic Park review, I'll actually have a number. But, you know, I can also play the lottery too. So, alright. Take care and have a good day and see you in the next review. And hopefully we'll see this guy in about 6 weeks.
Something like that, yeah.
Alright. Bye.
Ciao.